Look at the sugar cream pie falling out of the sky.
Welcome to My God Up Podcast. I'm Jim Wood. In this episode, John Powell and I are joined by Hunter Jones and Coach Trill for this year's Christmas Regale. We talk about all things holiday season and a little college football playoff. As always, remember to check out the newly redesigned MyGottaPodcast.com to see our latest merch. And you can follow us on social media at MyGottaPodcast. Finally, if you need help with your website or your online presence, head over to workingwebmedia.com/dogs. Now, let's join the conversation in progress. All right, we're back for another Christmas regale. Regale?
Regale. We'll go with Regale.
We'll go with Regale.
It's the My God Podcast Christmas party.
Yes.
Episode.
The Christmas special extravaganza.
Yes.
And I think we're expecting one more, but thus far, so far we have with us tonight.
My God, a freshman.
Trying to put glasses on it.
1980, woo, brother.
Love it.
Not just the over-unders, a whole episode with Coach Trill. Coach, glad to have you back, buddy.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
In true Christmas episode, whatever we call it, fashion, it's like, hey, Coach, if we did an episode tomorrow, can you join?
And I'm always usually just sitting on my couch. I'm like, oh, yeah, sounds good. I'm free.
Like that works.
I'll make time for you guys for sure.
Love it. I don't know if anyone has bourbon or not, but I
do.
I have a question on if I should open this or not.
Uh-oh.
All right.
I guess I need to pull you up on the big screen.
So I bought this last year, like before the SEC championship last year. Cause I think like a bunch of people had these like they're like, oh, I'm going to open a bottle, if we win, blah, 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 whatever. And so I saw this bottle and I thought it was an omen and I bought it. So, but then I didn't open it. But now that we won the SEC championship, I'm thinking, should I open this? So it's like a dog and like it says Top Dog.
It's the year of the dog.
Top Dog DAWG.
Absolutely.
So I feel like I should have. I felt like this could go for the Christmas episode.
It's Christmas, celebrating another SEC championship. Absolutely.
Okay. Since I got the approval,
I would say you're well within your rights.
Now I'm sitting here having to like take the plastic wrap off the top.
Is he gonna give us a nice cork pop though?
No, it's a screw top. I think
it's one of those.
Wait, where is it? Oh, this is great. Podcast
this is
content.
good.
Okay.
Podcast with ASMR or whatever.
Okay, yeah. So
best sounding bourbon.
We're gonna see how this
goes.
Either
the pop,
so yeah, it like you pour it like out of the dog's the top of the dog's head. This will be interesting.
All right. Out of the top of his head?
Yeah, like
not his mouth. Not even his mouth.
The spout is like right here. It's so weird.
It's not awkward at all.
No, not awkward. Yeah, if it poured out of the mouth, that would be amazing. All right,
those of you listening at home, this is a screw top of a mold of a bulldog. It kind of resembles Bully from Mississippi State, and the spout is on the top of its head.
He does.
To really, in the words of Munson, paint the picture.
That was fantastic.
Just to paint the picture. I've got my High West store pick from Hops Grain and Vine over here. This is my poor man's whiskey version. Well, I guess the Midwinter's Dram is still whiskey. It's rye whiskey, but it's the blend of petite. It's a blend of straight whiskeys that's finished in petite Shiraz barrels, and it very much tastes like Christmas in a bottle, which is what John always says that. He always says that's what Midwinter's Dram tastes like, which I think that when Hunter joins, I don't know if he's going to open it or not. He's got one of those. That was my inspiration when he said that he bought that.
Yeah, I saw that. And then I was like, I might need to bust out the Top Dog. Then I had to go find it. I was like, wait, where did I leave that?
You, you might be an alcoholic when.
This is
Where did
why
I
I
put
like.
that bottle of booze?
This is why I like stopped buying bourbon. I was like, I feel like I have enough. I had put it. I had because it was like it came in a box and I had left it in the box, but I found it. It just wasn't where I thought I had put it. It was in the second place I checked. So
That's funny. Cheers,
Yep.
boys.
I'm just drinking the Miller Lite and
hey,
like Bobby Wilson have some red wine or some Pinot Noir red wine. But unlike Bobby Wilson and more like Coach Trill, it's what Kroger had, not Camus. So
no,
but
Two
no,
two
cheers.
buck chuck.
no,
Yeah, something close to that.
no Publix receipts. Uh,
Yeah.
like Bobby.
No Publix. Speaking of Publix, by the way, if you have a Publix near you, PSA, the rib roasts are on sale for $6.99 a pound.
Nice, nice.
I was about to say, it's funny you say that because I was
It's a
looking
really
like
good deal.
Kroger was doing a deal on it too. So a little bit of competition in the market these days.
Mm, mm.
They're angling for the Christmas smokers.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about. I had a should we be recording moment about 10 minutes ago. I think I kind of want to start off with the Hoop Dogs.
Let's start it out.
I
Fletcher
mean,
will be very proud.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, the basketball minute is growing like Super Mario eating a mushroom, is what I basically tweeted with a GIF. Uh, Holy cow, this team is. I mean, my thing I just want to say about it is like how fun it is watching this Georgia basketball team. Like they are a blast to watch.
As a non-typical basketball follower, I guess a Disney hoop dog or whatever. Like
Nice. Yeah.
a hoop dog bandwagon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first, like, from the first game that I saw, which I think was like the first or second game, because I think that you guys had reminded me that they were playing, and I was like, oh shoot, I need to check this out, see how they're doing. And from the moment from the moment I started watching, I was like, man, this is fun. And then every time since then, it's just fun watching them. It's like I made the comparison of what it was like watching the Chicago Bulls in the 90s. Like that's kind of how I feel watching these guys. Not that it's like all-star, caliber, but it's just fun basketball.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
It seems like last year, they got off to a good start in the non-conference and then got in the SEC, and it was a little bit of a letdown to a certain
Yeah,
degree. However, they
exactly.
made progress. This year just seems different, and the talent across the court is a lot better. They seem more congealed as a team, and in Mike White's second year, they really seem to be starting to gel under him and starting to gel as a whole unit, and even guys coming off the bench are scoring. And that's what was a lot different last year. Last year, it seemed like the starting five were like the only guys that could do it.
Yeah.
And then a guy would get subbed in, and you're like, oh, here we go. Like, it's like, Arkansas is going to make a run or somebody's going to, score a couple on us. However, this time around, we've done so well in the non conference. It just seems like a completely different team than last year to be like, okay, yes, it's similar to last year. However, it's not last year's team where I feel like this team's more prepared for the conference when we get into it later in the year.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Uh, Also, welcome to the show, Hunter Jones.
Hunter. How's that baby?
He's good. We're finally getting back to a better sleep pattern, so I'm trying not to mess it up.
Nice. Nice.
Sorry to interrupt your evening.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're good. You're good. I got to get on the pod. Couldn't miss it.
Hey,
Yeah,
we,
for
we got
sure.
we got your Christmas card today. It was like one of my favorite Christmas cards. So amazing.
Thank you. Thank
The
you.
baby's first Christmas card is elite.
Yeah, and he started this thing where he like sticks his tongue out all the time.
Yeah.
He's going to be an issue, I think.
Are we gonna give him the nickname Jordan?
I mean, I hope he's half as good as Jordan
MJ.
athletically.
It fits with the Georgia basketball talk right there. Although I don't know if True Man's gonna play for Georgia or Ole Miss. I don't know. We'll see. Time will only tell.
Hey, I told everybody that has ever brought it up that I only have one rule for True Man when it comes to what college he wants to go to. No orange.
Nice.
Solid rule to live by.
Yes.
I
Yes.
was not expecting that. I was expecting maroon to be the statement there.
Yeah, well, that one too.
Sweet.
Got an AP Jones question for you, Hunter. Are you guys
Uh,
out or are you guys still in school?
so today was our 60% day. So
Oh, okay, got you.
we are out. We are officially out till the 2nd.
Not bad.
Ooh,
Yeah, we got
awesome.
one more day, just tomorrow, and that's it. But it's a half day
Yeah.
across the county. So
Same in the Cobb County.
nice.
Megan has to go half day tomorrow. They had a whole day today. We're a
Oh,
day
wow.
ahead for some reason in my district.
That's how we are here. It's a half day tomorrow, but it's finals. Lily finished today, so Lily doesn't go. So she's done, but Kim's
We're
there tomorrow.
Yeah,
quickly.
I was actually supposed to work tomorrow. Tomorrow's not a holiday for administrators on the approved calendar, but we talked our superintendent into having a virtual work day. So as long as my phone is on and I'm available, I'm I'm virtually working.
I saw the meme today that was like, that sounds like a 2025 problem.
Yes, that was my mood today. Like it's been a tough week because my principal and number one, middle schoolers are crazy.
Mm.
Number two, middle schoolers
Can
are
confirm.
even more crazy when it's right
Sorry,
before
Carter.
a holiday break.
Yeah.
But my principal's son is graduating. He's going into the army, and it's like his second round of graduation or something in Oklahoma. So he was in Oklahoma all week. So Hunter Jones was not AP this week. Hunter Jones was principal this week, and
Mm,
of all weeks, it had to be the one of the holiday week where all the exams are happening. It was an interesting week for sure.
nice.
Just get on the morning announcements. Tell them if they breathe the wrong way, they get ISS, and just see what happens. I'm
uh,
kidding. This is leadership advice from somebody who's been a teacher for almost 15 years. So here we are.
nice. Let's round out the Georgia basketball quickly, and we can get to some Christmas time commentary.
Holiday party.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know, like, John tweets had been texting us about Deshane Montgomery, like, and him being eligible now, and like he looked great tonight. So yeah, Dogs like more than doubled up. Buffalo was 100-49 final score. So just absolute blast watch. I love watching Santo, like the guy, like protecting the rim and then dunking. So I don't know, like, I'm not saying he's the unofficial official forward of My God a Podcast, but that's could be discussed.
We could absolutely discuss that.
Yeah.
The good thing with basketball is it's like there's only so many guys, whereas with football it's like nearly 100.
Right.
So
Right.
Right.
On that note, did you guys see the mayonnaise commercial, like Instagram reel that Dylan Bell has?
No.
It's like everything you would think based on what I just said. Like I've always been like I've always wanted like more awkward commercials for like NIL deals, and this is like very much that. It's like Dylan Bell eating like a buffalo chicken dip. The base is like Hellman's mayonnaise, and it's like a Hellman's part or whatever, like influencer post. It's fantastic because it's like it gets like slow motion and like it doesn't make sense, and he's like about to start laughing. The whole thing is incredible.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl would like a word.
I know. I did. I knew that. I knew it would spark controversy to see that he's a Hellman's guy. At least with the NIL money coming in. So
Yeah.
please
Well,
tell me
I'm
he
gonna
dumps a
spark.
cooler of mayonnaise on top of Kirby, and at some point, like they got to at least do that to compete with Dukes.
love it.
What were you gonna say, Hunter?
I was gonna say I'm gonna spark up a controversy with the mayonnaise talk. Mayonnaise talk. I'm neither. Blue plate all the way, baby.
Blue plate.
Interesting.
That is interesting. I feel like I'm not a big mayonnaise guy either way, but I feel like the Duke's is the popular one here.
God, JP, I'm gonna make a sandwich for you one of these days when I put mayonnaise and pickles on it, and you're gonna like it.
Let's go.
And I will probably dry heave in my mouth.
Don't ever let me make your sandwich like at the tailgate, because I'm gonna pass it over, and you're gonna be like, "What did you do?"
You could probably get it past me if it was like Chipotle mayonnaise or something like that.
Mm. Okay. Okay. Challenge accepted.
Jim's like taking notes what to do in 2025.
All right. Well, hopefully that was sufficient basketball talk for Fletcher. I think the Georgia basketball minute continues to grow, and we'll continue to follow as we get into conference play. Going to be a bit tougher in the SEC, but hey, as of right now, bracketology, Georgia is an 8 seed, which is like wild. So, best start since John and I were undergrads at Georgia in the Herrick days. So, heck of a start for the Hoops.
They'll start the conference against, ironically, at Ole Miss on January 4th. So
Watch out, Hunter.
Yeah, it'll be a good game to see what they've both got because Ole Miss is pretty good too this year under Coach Beard. He's kind of got some guys in there that are his guys now, and they're expected to be pretty good too.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Should be fun basketball season.
It'll be fun.
All right, JP, bring us into the holiday spirit.
All right, we got the holidays. So in the vein of Brother Smith, and the Brothers Know Best, aka Between Three Stashes, I'm gonna hit us up with a couple of options here. I'll let you guys pick. Do we want to do a blind draft, or do we want to do like just Christmas, like a Christmas theme without giving too much away?
I don't know.
Christmas music blind draft or Christmas theme?
So if we do a blind draft, do we all pick?
Yeah, you guys can pick. I'm not keeping score or anything, but
Okay. Well, we have to actually pick the right number, or else Carter will get mad at us. Like when I messed it up with Hate Rattlers that one time.
I do have 5. It's a top 5. So this is also that is also in tribute to another one of our favorites, the mullets on the mics.
Yeah, yeah. I'm up for whatever.
Let's just do the top 5. Let's just do the blind draft. All right,
Okay.
we're gonna do blind draft Christmas songs. I'm gonna give you, so just if you're not aware, I'm gonna give you a name of a song and you're gonna rank it on a scale of 1 to 5. Last Christmas by Wham.
Ooh, 5 for Hunter.
5.
Hunter's got him at 5. No love for
Man, I kind
Coach Michael.
of like that song.
Where are you at? Where are you at, Coach?
I'm going to shoot it in the middle. 3.
That's where
3.
I had already committed to 3. I'm going to 3 as well.
It would knowing the answers, if you had to ask me, but I would say 5. Okay, let's see here. Silent Night by Bing Crosby.
Bing is the guy when it comes to Christmas songs.
Bing is the goat. Bing is the goat.
Gotta be, for me, I'm gonna go safely with 3 because I feel like there's a couple options with Bing. So if any of those other ones are in here, then I gotta reserve some room in the top 2. Number 3.
I'm worried
Coach
to put
Trill?
Last Christmas too high.
Yeah, same. I'm right there with Jim. I'm like, dang it, put it way too high. I'm gonna have to put it at 2. I'm gonna have to put it at 2.
All right, I can't just match Coach Trill, so I'm gonna do the unthinkable and go and put him at 4.
4. Oof, brutal.
We're gonna see where this happens. Otherwise, I'm gonna be exactly the same as Coach Trill.
The Bing Crosby disrespect is palpable right now.
I know. I can't believe I just put Wham above Bing Crosby.
Side note, I had taken it aside when Brothers Know Best, when they did their Christmas music, I want to say like dissertation.
Yeah.
The unknown Christmas songs that you don't really hear too much about Bing Crosby's other stuff that's like not popular. He sings a song called Christmas in Killarney, which is a staple in the Powell household when I was a kid. Like I used to hear that song all the time. My family's Irish and it's got a very big Irish tinge to it. So if you are Irish, I recommend listening to that one. Nice. Okay, moving on. Jingle Bell Rock by Bobby Helms.
4.
Yeah, I'm right there with Hunter. That's a solid 4 for me, and that was going to be my number no matter what. So, with my assistant principal agreeing, yeah, here we go, 4.
All right. I've got a couple of curveballs here.
Oh, hold on. I didn't go yet, and I'm painting myself into a corner.
Oh, sorry.
Like, because I can't pull that at 2, can I? Oh my gosh, I feel like there's gonna be better stuff, or is there not? Or are you gonna throw a bad one? Don't tell me.
I
Mm,
personally don't think they're bad, but
mm.
I thought this was a fair list.
No, this is fine.
No,
I
no,
just
that's
I
solid.
just went too high with Last Christmas. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna gotta go 5 with Jingle Bell Rock. I feel like there's gonna be higher
Okay.
stuff.
Feliz Navidad, Jose Feliciano.
Now I've backed myself into a corner.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, Feliz Navidad, damn it now.
I've got 1 or 2 left, and it can't be 1, so it's got to be 2.
Yeah, I'm going 2 as well.
And I'll go 5.
Nice. Okay, last one. All I Want for Christmas Is You, Mariah Carey.
Yes, number 1.
Some people's one.
Dude, it's not Christmas time until you hear that song. Come
I
on.
know, right?
Dude, so many great like TikTok or like whatever, like reels with like people like it's November and people they start to hear it. You can hear Mariah start singing,
Yep.
so you know it's coming.
It has to be said that the PR company behind Mariah Carey's like Christmas, I don't know, whatever she is. I don't want to say like she's like the spokesperson for Christmas, but the spokesperson for Christmas in 2024, but that intro piano tune is just, it definitely seems like it's the signal. It's like the bat signal for Christmas.
It's like once it hits midnight on
Yeah.
November 1st, right after Halloween, like my students wanted to ask if they could play it in class literally on like November 1st or 2nd. And I was like, absolutely not. Don't ask it again. And then like November 3rd, I was like, okay, maybe it is time.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
I had to bring I had to steal Ella has a record player. That's the only one in the house, and I had to steal it from her and bring it downstairs. After again, as we've said, this is now a Brothers Know Best Stan podcast. After John was like playing all his vinyl records on their Christmas episode, I had to bring her. So I had to bring our record player down. So we threw some vinyl on the other day. It was nice.
I was in Target the other day, and my daughter, big Taylor Swift fans in this house, right?
Mm.
She saw on the shelf the Taylor Swift thing that she said, "Look, Dad, look at this calendar." I said, "Sweetheart, that's not a calendar. That's a record." What's a record?
It's awesome.
Nice.
Nice. I said, "You'll understand at some point. Not right now."
John's like, let's go to the electronics section for a history lesson. Here we
Yeah,
go.
seriously. We don't have a record. We don't have a record player in this house, but
Was that a Camden question?
that was a Camden question. Yes.
Okay.
The 7-year-old.
Okay.
Okay. So let's moving along to just the overall general Christmas theme question that I'll give you guys. So this kind of ties to one of the things that we talked about that I kind of wanted to touch on, like, traditions and things like that, which this will definitely tie in on. So we're gonna do a little game called Christmas Past, Present, and Future. So I want you to tell me about your favorite memory or tradition from the past, present, and future. And the future will be interesting to hear what Hunter has to say because he's got a newborn. So, what is your favorite memory of Christmas, past, present, and future? Jim, I'll let you go with. Let's just run through everybody's past, and then we'll just let everybody run through the present, and then let everybody run through the future.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with something that it's like that the things that are magical that your kids then grow out of. So my favorite from the past was doing the reindeer food. So we used to have like the kids would bring home like reindeer food from school, and so on Christmas Eve every year we would go after. So we always do like we don't really do Christmas Eve like presents other than like the kids would like always get like PJs, right? So like they get in their PJs, we get ready for bed, we get out like set out milk and cookies for Santa, then we go put the reindeer food out in the front yard for the reindeer. So that was my favorite of Christmas past.
The reindeer food. Okay.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah, I would say for me, it goes back to my childhood where we grew up going up to Greensboro, North Carolina every year to see my mom's parents. My dad's parents also lived in the same town, but we always stayed with my mom's parents. And so my grandmother, my mom's mom, I was really close to. She's the reason I'm a big Patriots, Red Sox, Bruins, Celtics fan. Anyway, she got me into sports, like loving sports. My dad was the Georgia fan. However, with all the pro teams I've always liked, she got me into it. And so growing up in the 90s, Jordan was huge. My grandmother lived in North Carolina when Jordan played at UNC. So she, knew all the stories from when he was at Carolina, followed him when he went to the Bulls. So one Christmas, she got me 3 jerseys. And this is like a retro flashback. So it was a red Michael Jordan Bulls jersey, a teal green Grant Hill jersey from the Pistons. And it's
Nice.
weird because she liked Carolina, but he was a Dookie, so it's kind of odd. And then just a football jersey randomly, a green Brett Favre jersey. So my favorite memories were always Christmases in Greensboro, but so if Christmas passed, it is the Christmases with Grandma Lucy and my grandpa Dave and my brother, my mom and my dad and my sister up there in North Carolina. So it's just the whole family together and just doing all the family traditions together and just being with them. That's what I remember most about Christmas. And then wanting my kids to have kind of the same experience with now my parents, so their grandparents. But Christmas past, definitely Greensboro, North Carolina, circa 1996, 1997.
Nice.
Hunter, what you got?
So I would say that I'm a pretty nostalgic guy. I like
No, not
you
you.
know not me.
You're gonna hit us with a Cajun Christmas, aren't you?
I mean, it's a little bit, I guess. I always, thinking about Christmas past memories, um, we kind of had a more non-traditional than you would think of Christmas Eve. We'd always do the traditional Christmas meal where like the whole family would come over to my grandma's house on Christmas um, for lunch. But like Christmas Eve was always like, and especially like as a kid because you're like getting hyped because you get all the feelings of tomorrow's Christmas, it's Christmas Eve, and we always have like the same checklist of things that we had to do. And I grew to appreciate them more the older I got, like when I was in high school, and especially like when I went off to Ole Miss and then came home for Christmas, I really appreciated them more. But Christmas Eve, um, you know, we would have at my cousin's house, we would have our gift exchange with our cousins and kind of have like a small meal. And then everybody would go home and kind of like, get ready for the night. And then on Christmas Eve night, we would go to church service. And then, as a kid, like we would be in the nativity play. And I always looked forward to that. Like every year, like you get to move up because you're older. And eventually you get to be like Joseph or like, an actual person and not just like one of the little kids. Like the little kids are dressed up like sheep and stuff. Like
The lobster.
it's not as fun, yeah. And so
The lobster. Somebody was a tree. John's over here like the lobster, the shrimp. Sorry, I totally interrupted.
Love actually. Love actually, the little Easter egg there. Anyway.
excuse me. But so then after church service, we'd all go over to my aunt and uncle's house. And the whole family would be there like watching the like that bowl game that used to be on like Christmas Eve night, the Hawaii Bowl. Like I can vividly remember like the Hawaii Bowl being on and they would cook gumbo and we'd have like gumbo and the adults would have like the adult drinks. And then when I got to college, I was like, oh, like Maker's Mark, what is that? Let me get some of that.
The foreshadowing.
Right.
Also, I love how you casually dropped the Cajun Christmas on us.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I like it. Hunter, you say you went to Ole Miss and you were like, you went back for Christmas as a freshman and were like, oh, that's what Maker's Mark is. Every time I've been to Ole Miss, I've always seen old granddad bottles in the bathroom. So it's
Really.
now
See,
it's just kind of funny. So
we were cheap when I was at Ole Miss, but like I don't know, I didn't really start my real like bourbon drinking until I met Megan, and I didn't meet Megan until junior year. So
Oh,
like
gotcha.
freshman and sophomore year, we're talking like Evan Williams Green Label, like the handles that we'd buy cases of them for the fraternity house for parties, and like we just had this one. Oh, it was the most disgusting thing ever. It was an old handle of Evan Williams, and we got it down to like this much left, and we kept it on the top of our refrigerator. And then every time we would get, it was like it's like a terrible infinity bottle. Every time we would get a different kind of like whiskey or bourbon, like Crown or whatever it might be, and we'd be about to finish it, we'd pour it into that handle and keep it up on top. And then at the end of the year, we all like took shots of it. And it was like the most awful thing ever.
That is,
At least it like cleaned you out.
yeah.
That's
Yes.
the one benefit of it.
Amazing.
John, do we
I guess
do we get yours? Do we get?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely,
Okay, I wanted to
absolutely.
make sure. I wanted to make sure.
So my favorite past item is going to be Christmas morning as a kid when Christmas was magical. And I feel like that the magic of Christmas is kind of waned as the advent of Amazon and online shopping has kind of come because, you know, I don't know. I was always surprised, and I know that my kids like to be surprised, but at the same time, like they also don't like to be like disappointed that they didn't get exactly what they wanted. And so in the day and age of, being able to order on Amazon, I feel like it takes it away because they can see their Christmas presents coming.
Right.
It's annoying. And then they see the notifications that whatever is delivered on the phone. Um, so for me, like Christmas, when I think about Christmas morning, the the Time Life Treasury of Christmas is a record that my parents would always play every Christmas morning, and it would start, and it would have like, you know, we would just roll straight through that record and then flip it over, and we'd open presents and do that whole thing. And so for me, like that was like one of my favorite memories, just going down and watch my sister and like we just Barney like, oh, you got that, oh, you got that, oh, you got that, you know what I mean? Like the whole thing Christmas morning. So like that for me is the big one on the Christmas past situation. And then just, dad has got the camcorder, he's like, hey mom. Yeah, and your mom's just sitting there in her like back then, like in the 90s or whatever, they had the robe, like the house coat or whatever, which is not a thing anymore. But yeah, it was that's Christmas past for me.
Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
All right, what's your present, Mr. Jim?
Mm. Um, Present, I would say, so like our girls are very much into um the arts. So I think something that's kind of become fun for us over the past few years is like finding new Christmas movies to like add to our list of must-sees. So like I always had my must-watches, like, and mine is like a kind of a random one, like the "Twas the Night Before," like some like the short ones. Like you got Rudolph, you got Frosty. I always was a "Twas the Night Before Christmas" fan with the mice, that live with
The mice, yeah.
the clockmaker or the watchmaker.
Is it the
Um,
golden books or the movies?
no, the movies. Yeah, the movies.
Okay.
But so we've enjoyed just like trying to watch new things and find new ones. And so I'll give you a couple that we've discovered over the last few years. Uh, Actually, a lot of like Netflix ones, honestly, like Christmas Chronicles, good movie, especially the first one. And then Klaus. If you've seen Klaus, Klaus is fantastic. Um, so big into that one. And then we'll mix in trying to watch some older ones as well. Like last year we watched Four Christmases. I had never Kim and I had never even seen that, and we watched that with the family. And that's it. That's another great one.
What?
Yeah. So like just
That's
going through
solid.
and trying to find.
Bruh.
I know it's great. Which I thought of that when the nativity scene came up earlier. I was like, do you graduate to get to be Vince Vaughn in the nativity scene?
Could you just see Hunter?
Yeah.
Woman, wrap this baby.
Yes. But so I would say that's it. Like we do a lot of watching movies, and not even just Christmas movies too, but that's been kind of it, trying to find the new traditions.
I like it.
I would
Coach?
say for me, it's, with my kids, and, like, I've always done it where the Thanksgiving night or Black Friday, I always watch Home Alone. Home Alone is my Christmas movie. That's, like, me,
Hmm.
Home Alone 1 and 2, so I always watch Home Alone 1 every time, and I'll usually tweet out, "It's Home Alone season." Like, that's me. However, now with my kids, it's just doing the little things with them.
Mm.
So in the present, like, be there when you're there, living in that moment, living in the present with them. And just when I see them and when I have them and just being with them and spending time with them, it's when we go past houses maybe later in the afternoon that have lights on, just enjoying that moment. My mother got my son, he's 5, he'll be 6 in January, a Lego advent calendar. So when he would come over, we'd hang out during the week. We'd open a couple of the days up and just see what's in there and just playing with, Christmas Legos, which playing with Legos at 37 years old is still as fun as it was, maybe even a little bit better when I was 7 years old. So just that aspect of it all is great. And then my daughter, she's 2, she'll be 3 in January. Just with my daughter, it's just the little things of kind of introducing her to the nuances of Christmas and the idiosyncrasies and the little traditions and kind of understanding it. Like, she'll see an inflatable Santa as we drive by through a neighborhood and, lose her mind over it, or see the Grinch and be like, the Grinch, the Grinch, it's just so cool to see. So the present for me is just figuring out Christmas with my kids as they're very young. And my son just started kindergarten this year. So he's going through all the things and doing, they built gingerbread houses at a school. And so being there with him to do that and just having him have those memories, because one of the memories I have, and, Jim can attest to this, his mother was one of my kindergarten teachers. And one of my greatest memories was singing at night to our parents one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time, and it still is. Um, and it just with my son, I see his side of it. Now I see the child side of it that you don't notice when you're 5 and 6 years old. So being in the present is just being with my kids as they're young and building those memories and building those little traditions that we get to create together. So
Two things. We've got Ponda's famous student.
let's go.
Second
Let's
thing. Second thing. What was the favorite Christmas song of all time? Just out of
Oh
curiosity.
my God. Oh, I can sing it. If I sing the lyrics, I'll figure cap on heads through those right. Must be Santa. That's it. Must be Santa.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, and I don't know why at Alfred Elementary with Mrs. Head as our music teacher, that's what she chose, but that's what stuck. So Must Be Santa was the song that I still sing it today in the car. And my son is like, Dad, what is that? And I was like, it's Jingle Bells, but better. So
Nice.
Nice. Hunt, what you got, bud?
So, I think about Christmas in the present. Obviously, I'm about to
Your
have
present is
the
very different.
first. Yeah, we haven't had that one yet. So, like, it's gonna kind of be a past, but like the most recent present that I had was like I've really enjoyed like the last 10 years since Megan and I have been together. That Christmas that I described as my past kind of changed. Whereas when we moved back to the coast, my family all lives here on the coast. Well, her family obviously lives in Georgia, so we started spending Christmas in Georgia because it was kind of that was our deal, our trade off. Was my family's here and we live here, and so we'll spend the holiday with your family. And it was something that I really like, that not having kids yet, like young adult, like we had to split the time obviously between Alpharetta and being down on the lake, and just all the different things we would do at both places. Like when we're in Alpharetta, I love going and just looking at all the Christmas lights, and the little pop-up bars that they would do, like the Christmas themed pop-up bars in downtown Alpharetta. And just like I had a spot, like it was my yearly spot, and the people who worked there knew that that was my spot at Jekyll Brewing, not the new one in downtown, but the original, the Marconi one. Like that was my spot. And when they would do the little flights when they first started doing those, they would let me draw on the flights with a paint pen, and I would always draw some, whatever was going on in like the sporting world or whatever at the time. And they started where they would not, they wouldn't erase them. They would keep mine up there, not to like try to brag or anything, but I can draw pretty good. So like
I mean,
they started
we're
keeping
talking
it up
about
there.
Hunt the
We're talking
Jones
about
here, obviously.
it's a Hunt the Jones special.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, that's kind of where it all kind of started, like wanting to explore, like maybe doing like some sports graphics type stuff. And so every year they had the old one up there and like kind of started a collection up there. Any listener who might have ever been to that might have noticed one, you might not have, but they were always back behind the bar. Um, and then like at the lake, just having a fire every night. Yeah, I really never watched um, any Christmas movies other than like when I was a kid, we would watch like those claymation movies, um, like The Year Without a Santa Claus and stuff like that. But when I didn't realize how big of like a tradition watching certain Christmas movies was until
Sir.
I saw like Megan's family. They like watch Christmas Vacation religiously every year. And so
Yes.
like they like got me a t-shirt. Like we all had themed t-shirts. And like we'd like pour a big glass of bourbon, and like Megan and her mom would make like the rum chata and fireball for themselves, and we'd all just like sit and watch Christmas Vacation with a fire going, and just hang out at the lake for a week and smoke brisket and watch the bowl games. Like so, like that's been the last 10 years of how we've spent it between the two places, and so that's what I think about right now because that's what we've had. But obviously, it's about to change with the future one.
Nice.
It is good. Yeah, dude, I Christmas vacation is a big thing. My dad is a huge Christmas vacation fan, like huge.
Real
Um,
NASCAR.
yeah, yeah, if you're not quoting it while you're watching it, like what are you even watching Christmas Vacation? All right, so present for me. So present for me, so as far as like, talking about past and traditions that you have going on now. So one of the things that Lindsay's family did on Christmas Eve, we go to Christmas Eve service, and then we go to the Waffle House on Christmas Eve. Like that was like a thing that they did growing up. And I have really latched onto that. And so like we go to Christmas Eve service, that early afternoon, then we go and eat dinner at the Waffle House, and then we come home and we decorate sugar cookies. Everybody has there's a lot of baking that goes on during the day before we go to church, and so there's a lot of sugar cookies, and so the kids really enjoy decorating the cookies on Christmas Eve, and then we lay them out for Santa to come and get, and they may or may not be encouraged to just set aside a tumbler, a highball, for Santa to enjoy a beverage as well. Um, but yeah, that is one of my favorite things like right now that we do. You know, there's the Christmas Eve kind of process, I guess, if you will. And then I guess, well, I'll save it for my future, but yeah, that's one of my favorite things right now.
I always personally enjoy getting the picture of the Powell Christmas cookies. I get sent the picture every year, and I enjoy them every year.
Yes. There's usually hasn't so much the competition has not been as stiff as the kids have gotten older,
Mhm.
but there's definitely a healthy competition on whose cookie is the best. And there's always a question on what Georgia themed dad is gonna do.
Yes, always elite, always elite.
There's, there's always something. I think last year I did Kirby. Anyway.
Your cookies are either elite or
Um,
they're not. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
all right. So future, where does that leave you? Future, Jim.
So I'm gonna attempt to weave my Christmases together throughout life and project to the future. So when I was a kid, We were always at home on Christmas. Um, and we always had like a big gathering at our house on Christmas. So we would do a Christmas Eve thing as well, like with my cousin, like at my grandparents' house, at my mom's house, my mom's parents' house, and we called that early Christmas. But then like my cousin and my uncle and aunt, they would be with like her family on Christmas Day, and so then my mom's parents would come to our house, and then my dad's parents would also come to our house. So we'd have a big everyone there Christmas, and we've kind of been that way as well. So we go to Georgia for Thanksgiving, but then at Christmas usually folks are coming here, and so we'll have it's usually kind of like more of a rotation, but we'll have like my parents will be here and Kim's parents will be here and they'll kind of come through. But I just always remember what that was like as a kid, like, oh my God, like my grandparents are here. It's like so cool. And then like my kids have had that with my parents coming here. Like their joke is like that they call my dad's truck. They would call it like Poppy's sleigh. And he had loaded it up with presents for the kids and all that kind of stuff. So I could just see, the potential to do that and be on that grandparent side of that someday. And getting to go experience that next generation's Christmas. So that's what I look forward to in my Christmas future.
For me, it's again kind of like what Jim was saying with the kids. It's, having my kids experience Christmas in a way for them that's as good as it was for me when I was little. And just seeing them enjoy it and enjoy the moment and be there. And one thing that I've always wanted to stress with my kids is just, even though they're so little, is just have fun, and enjoy it and enjoy the traditions and kind of be there with the family and enjoy, being with my brother, their uncle, being with my parents, their grandparents. And for me, is, personally going through life, just different stages of life. My girlfriend, we're dating now and just starting new traditions with her as well. So incorporating what we've done with my kids throughout the past couple of years, and then my girlfriend being a part of it, my girlfriend being a part of her family as well, and just enjoying what we have together and enjoying the aspect of family. Because as most of I'm a teacher, and so being off for 2.5 weeks, it lends me to a lot of time. And so being able to spend time with my kids, being able to spend time with my family, and being able to spend time with my girlfriend and just enjoy that time off and enjoy the moment. And again, like I said earlier, be there when you're there and be there present in the moment. And so that's been big for me going forward, is making sure not only am I there for my kids, but also making sure that we enjoy the family traditions and that we enjoy them not just for what they are, but we enjoy them together and we make our new family traditions as we go on. And so in the future, I just hope and look forward to the fact that I get to see my kids grow through the holidays and see my kids enjoy the holidays and see my kids enjoy being with their family and being with my grandparents and their mom's grandparents or their mom's parents, my parents, my my brother, so their uncle, and just enjoying those memories that they'll have that I had with my grandma Lucy and my grandpa Dave and grandpa John and grandma Betty. So that's just it for me, is kind of giving them the happiness and joy that I had just in their life and in their own experience.
Nice, coach.
I like it. Hunter, what's your future looking like?
Well, I'm really looking forward to like starting.
Can I just interject?
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to you complaining about the noisy toys that your parents get you.
Yes. Yes.
Uh,
But
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm really looking forward to like starting our traditions to where like true it's gonna have that Christmas magic, like I don't know what it is we're gonna do, but like we've already got like a Santa cookie plate ready. Like he's got a little custom one made. Um, just um, different things to make the magic for him and to get to establish that and that all that nostalgia that I remember about Christmas having the chance to allow him to have that. And, you know, all the way up from the little stages that we're at right now until he gets older. Like, I'm looking forward to that whole progression and just getting to be a part of it.
I like it.
Amazing.
Yeah, Hunter, start buying batteries now. Like John,
Yeah, I saw John Smith's
John tweeted that like
his
whole like
thing with
battery pack, brother. Invest in two.
uh-huh, uh-huh. So I've got to tell y'all, I hate to do this, but we got to get to bed. But
Oh,
before I left, I wanted to tell y'all my story about my near miss today with my midwinter nights dram pickup. It was
okay.
almost an unfortunate event. So we had our 60% day at school today. So I was coming through town early, and I never get to come through town early. Most of the time, I'm coming through town, and it's like dark. So um, I was like, oh, I'll stop by the local store, the one that usually gets all the good bottles, because I've been seeing on Facebook that like our local restaurants downtown that will carry like actual good, like Elmer T, Weller, like they have it at the bar, like Maison de Lou, a place that I've posted and talked about a lot. They posted that they had gotten a stag and an Elmer T, and so I knew that the local liquor stores, two good ones, that's who supplies them. So I knew that the allocated bottles were starting to come in this week. So I was like, oh, I'll stop in. Maybe I'll get lucky.
Yeah.
And so I almost had like a nice guys finish last story today. So I have my two bottles that are my bottles that if I see them, I've already I prepared Megan. I had to like ease her off the ledge today. But if I
as
find
as all husbands are wont to do in
yeah,
situations like this.
yeah. So if I find one of these two bottles and the price has a one at the beginning, I'm buying it. And it's the Midwinter and it's the Weller 107. So
Mm.
those are my two bottles that if I find it, I'm getting it for that under that one. So I'm walking up out of my car and to go into the store, and this guy who, and I don't know this guy, but he's coming in. He's behind me, um, and so I go up to the door and I open the door and I open the door for him and let him go in. He walks in front of me and he walks straight over to the little shelf where the allocateds are and picks up the last midwinter and brings it up to the counter and buys it. And I'm like, I literally look around like I'm dumbfounded. And I'm like, I guess I shouldn't have let that guy go in front of me, just like talking out loud to myself. And luckily, the owner was like standing there, and me and him have had some conversations before about, some different wines and stuff when I've been looking. And he like noticed and like made eye contact with me, and he's like, 1 second, and he checks that guy out, and that guy leaves, and he's like, I got one more in the back, so I'll bring it out to
Mhm.
you.
Nice.
So
There's
he
always one
brought it out
more.
to me, and so then I was like, oh crap, like I'm actually about to do this. Let me call Megan and see if she just wants a bottle of wine. And so I'm like walking around the store, and then he comes up to me because I'm trying to call her and she's at school, so she's not answering. And so he comes up to me, he's like, are you looking for something? I know we've talked about some different wines before. You were in here looking at some cake bread last time. I know you said your wife likes cake bread. I got some more of those. And I'm like, oh, he like put me on the spot. So I didn't know what to do. And so I just was like, well, we just went to a wine dinner at Maison de Louvre, and that was Camus wines. And she really liked Camus wines. So I see that y'all have gotten some of those in. He's like, oh, yeah, do you remember which one it was? And so I'm like stalling, hoping she'll call me back so I can be like, hey, I'm about to buy this really expensive bottle of bourbon. Please don't kill me. But yeah, she said she still wants to kill me. She's sitting right here.
They always want to kill you. They always want to kill you, Hunter.
So
Oh,
anyway,
man.
I strike up this conversation with him because he's already put the bottle out for me. Like it's sitting there waiting for me. So I have to buy it at this point. And he is showing me these different Camus wines, and I pull up the menu from when me and Meg went to the wine night, and I found the one that she liked. And he's like, "Oh, I got one in the back." And he brought it out, and I'll throw it in. I'll throw a discount on it, just because you're getting this bottle." And we talked. So I got the two bottles for a price that made me feel better about the two bottles versus just the one bottle.
Well, and to quote a losing SEC coach and Steve Sarkisian, it's not a sacrifice, it's an investment.
There we
There
go.
you
Nice.
What is Meg saying?
I don't know what she's talking about. She said she deserves something. What'd you?
Hold on, let me mute.
Oh, she said she thinks because she let me buy that wine, she deserves a dog bone that y'all give out on Twitter.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Hell yeah, there we go.
Yes.
You see, Hunter, and
okay.
that's the investment paying dividends right there. See? Not a sacrifice, it's an investment. There you go.
Meg
That's
the
it.
Jones pays attention.
Yep,
Updating.
she does.
I must say,
Well, let's just don't toot her horn too much now. Let's not forget how this all started. When
make
she
the
back
Jones
before
double eye emojis on the web
Yeah,
right there.
back before Charlotte, when she was saying that y'all were my fake SpongeBob friends. That's what she said about y'all.
False. I have your Christmas card to prove it. It's false.
It's false.
That's so good. That's so good.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of dog Twitter is that your friends online are actually real. I promise you.
We exist in reality.
Yeah, every time she comes to a game, she's still like, I still can't believe that all those people are real, and they call you Hunt the Jones. You're so lame.
You're so lame. Hey, it's like you have a teenager. It's weird.
Bro, this season, introducing my girlfriend to everybody, I was like, well, this is John Powell, Jim Wood, and normal. And then I'm like, and then I introduce him to like, oh, that's Hug Dog. Don't shit here. Everyone's like, who the hell are these people? Oh, and then she would joke like after like the second game, she's like, oh, you're Twitter friends. I get it. And I'm like, okay, thanks. Like,
It's a real thing.
Meg was
they
not.
can hate on it all they want.
Don't worry,
by
Meg
the
was
way,
Meg was not
Meg and
alone.
my girlfriend would be pretty good friends. Just saying. So
Yeah.
there we go.
Meg was not alone in Charlotte. Kim was like, "We're really going to this tailgate with all these people that you've never met before."
You're like, my dad's going.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we quickly found out like everyone knew my dad. Oh, you're Fripp Dog's son? Cool.
Yeah. Well, Charlotte.
Still to this day.
I knew something was weird at Charlotte because I didn't even fully understand like to what extent the Twitter went until Charlotte, because I got to that tailgate and people like, I have no idea who these people are. Never seen them in my life. They're coming up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're Hunter Jones," and I'm like, "Yeah." Depending on who's asking.
Yeah, they're like, bro, I love your edits on the uniforms that we should do.
Yeah.
You're the uniform, dude.
They were all like, they either love me or hate me because I tweeted the fake inside sources about the color rush jerseys.
Oh my god, that was hilarious. That's still one of the greatest things about that game.
So amazing.
Still to
You
this
never
day.
know. You never know when you're going to get tagged by a Hunter on a tweet that lasts the entire season.
Yep. But I mean, dog Twitter is it's so deep too. Like it's not just at tailgates. Like when I went to the Masters 2 years ago now, like I was running into people at the Masters that were like, "You're Hunter Jones, you do the uniform stuff," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." Like,
Yes,
we're
I
walking
am.
around Augusta National, and people are like, calling me by my Twitter name. I'm like, "What is happening right now?"
What is happening?
It's too good.
Meg's just sitting in the background, rolling her eyes, like, "Oh, geez, here we go again."
She is rolling her eyes at me
She's
right
gonna
now.
kill.
Yes.
She's still gonna kill him about the bourbon. All right.
I saw the price here in Georgia on that stuff yesterday. I can only imagine if it's even
It
a
actually
little
wasn't too
better or a
bad.
little worse than it was here. Like, brother, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I
it was
get it.
it was within a couple of dollars of what
It
you
was
posted.
it was in the range. It was in the range of acceptability for a retail bottle, but definitely too rich for my blood.
Yeah, I text the group before I bought it too. Like that, every time I see a bottle,
Yeah.
I shoot it into the group real fast and see what everybody has to say.
What do you think? What do you think? It's a good price. It was a good price. I've seen it sold for a lot more than that. So yeah. I guess it's
All
my
right,
turn.
well, before y'all get
Oh,
started on something new, I'm gonna go ahead and peace out. Appreciate y'all having me on. Uh,
Always, brother.
Looking forward to another Dogs win here in a couple weeks on New Year's, and hopefully some of dog Twitter, Dog Nation can make their way down on their way to New Orleans and stop by the best city on the coast. I'm not talking about Biloxi. Sure, you can go to the because like I know all y'all Georgia people like to go to Biloxi to the casinos for some reason, but Ocean Springs
for
is the best.
some reason.
Ocean Springs is the best city on the coast, and it's right across the bridge. Me and Meg can show y'all around and all the good spots. So
Hunt, are you
um,
guys going to the game?
I don't know yet. Meg actually said today she was like, even if we don't get tickets, I figured you want to go over to Bourbon Street for the day because all your friends are going to be all your fake friends are going to be over there.
Hey,
That sounds like an approval.
feel
That sounds like a
like
tacit approval. That's a
that sounds
verbal
like a
agreement.
challenge. Like,
What'd you say? Yeah, it'll be a birthday celebration because her birthday is on the 2nd. So
Hey,
oh wow,
there we go. There we go.
well, happy
that's
early.
the real reason she wants to go to Bourbon Street.
I like that. I like that thinking. Happy early birthday, Meg the Jones.
Yes.
They said happy early birthday, Meg Jones.
Show notes have been updated to make sure Meg the Jones gets a dog bone as well.
She said thanks. She's going to be old.
You are not old. False. You're state champion cheerleading coach, right?
Not this year.
Oh, sorry.
They didn't this year. When was that? This one? 2 years ago. State champions.
Hunter, you should have lied. We wouldn't have researched it. We'd have been like, "Oh hell yeah,
Yeah,
Ocean
seriously.
Springs. Let's
I saw
go."
rings. That's all I know.
Yeah, they got a ring. That's more than I can say for my
They got
coaching
rings.
career. There's a reason I'm an assistant principal and not a coach anymore, I guess.
Brother, there's a reason I'm a teacher, not an assistant principal. So here we are.
Good stuff,
All right,
man.
Nice.
guys.
All right, Hunter.
Y'all enjoy the Christmas season. Merry Christmas to the Jones clan. Thanks for hopping on, buddy.
Yeah, man.
We love
No
you.
problem.
Enjoy
All
that
love.
first
Merry
Christmas with the true man.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Merry
And
Christmas.
go Dogs.
Good dogs.
Go
Go
Dogs.
Dogs.
All right, JP, we need your Christmas future.
My
Absolutely.
Christmas future, yes. So I'm going to do a little bit of weaving as well of the past and present. So there's a couple of things. So for one of the things that I didn't mention about the present, as I was a kid growing up, we always went to my family, my dad. My dad is from Decatur. He's actually from Villa Rica, but he grew up in Decatur. And they every Christmas would go to Rhodes Bakery on Chester Bridge Road. Rhodes Bakery is like super famous, old bakery back in the day. Like it had been around for forever. It recently, well, I say recently, in the last like 10 years, I can't remember exactly when, but it closed. So they would always go to Rhodes Bakery on Christmas before Christmas and get petit fours, little miniature cakes that are I don't want to say they're cupcakes, but like, they're little squares of cakes basically coated in frosting and with little wreaths and Christmas designs or whatever. It's my grandmother's thing. So we don't go to Rhodes Bakery anymore today. We go to Publix and get petit fours because Rhodes Bakery no longer exists. They're right next to Rhodes Bakery is one of Atlanta's oldest restaurants. The Colonnade is a Atlanta staple. That is a restaurant that we go to at some point in the Christmas season. We usually go to it. This year we're actually going this Saturday. We're going to go to the Colonnade. It's my dad's. It's a big thing for my dad. So we're going to that. And so as far as like the future, like I'm just wondering like what traditions my kids are going to hold on to.
Hmm.
Are they gonna continue going to the Waffle House? I feel like Waffle House is going to be a pretty popular thing moving forward with my kids and their kids. They're gonna find something. So usually what they do on Christmas Eve with the Waffle House is we usually leave a big tip for the waitresses and stuff that are leaving or that are serving right there on the holiday. Because Waffle House never closes,
Yeah.
basically. So you try to tip the waitresses. Also it's just fantastically delicious. I have a feeling Carter is definitely going to hold on to that one because he really likes Waffle House.
Yes.
Um, but and I think Camden too, that both of them love bacon. So
Nothing wrong with
yeah,
that.
so I just look forward to like what traditions like I have a feeling that the cookie decorating is also going to be something that gets held on to. Like what things do we do that we find value in are they going to continue to do? And what new things are they going to inject? So like one of the things that I've injected into my family is I don't know why it sticks out to me, but one time when we were little, we went to Callenwald in Atlanta, which was my mom's like it was a huge deal for my mom. I remember her. I remember we parked forever away. It felt like we walked forever away. Like it was just like a thing that we did back then. Where we went to Callenwald. And Callenwald is this old plantation home in Atlanta. It's kind of like the Atlanta version of the Biltmore, but on a much smaller scale. It's a huge mansion, a huge plot of property in right there in Midtown, right next to 10th Street. If you're at Piedmont Park, it's literally a stone's throw away from Piedmont Park. If you've never been, it's cool. They decorate. It's very old school. It's kind of like going to Downton Abbey or something like that. Like if you go, because they have people that are playing piano and there's a fire going and they have a big campus and there's a bunch of art. It's kind of an art installation at this point these days, but they decorate it for Christmas and it looks really cool. And we usually go there before, like in our modern times, we go there before we go to the Colonnade. So this Saturday, I'm taking my kids to go down to the Colonnade. We're going to take them beforehand to go to Callenwall. And so that's, there's little things that you do, these things that you do, like what are your kids going to hold on to? And those are the things that I'm kind of looking forward to is like, what are they doing? And then what are they going to do that's new? So something
Yeah.
that's new for me was, the cookie decorating and the Waffle House. Like that was something that I was like, that's really cool. So, what are they going to create and what are they going to bring into the family when they marry, and they have kids, like what are they going to do? Um, Hunter's not on anymore, but Hunter, if you can at all avoid like no Elf on the Shelf, do not do Elf on the Shelf. It's like Inception. Like I wish I could go back in time and
Yeah.
like the John at the time was like, what is this Elf on the Shelf thing? Oh, people are doing it now. Oh, it's cool. No.
Yeah. Yeah. You need the interstellar whatever thing
Yeah,
to
yeah.
talk to
You
yourself.
bang, knock on the thing. But
When I
yeah,
used to teach elementary school, my kids would ask, "Hey, can we do Elf?" And I'd say no every year. I was like, "Absolutely not." Like, avoid it like the plague.
uh,
I'm very fortunate. Shout out to Caroline, my 10-year-old. She has she just started. She's usually the first one awake in the morning. She gets up at like 5:30 every single morning, and she'll come downstairs and take care of the elf. Like she takes care of the elf every single day. I don't actually she didn't take care of it this evening because I can see it's still there. So I'm gonna have to move the elf, which hashtag like elf on the shelf sucks. I hate elf on the shelf.
our elf made its
I-
way back out somehow this year, but it's been in the same spot for like over a week.
Oh
It's like we
man.
did it once, and I was like, "Good, it's done."
Oh man.
Dude, it's funny. It's funny because she started doing it like small, well, off the rails. Um, she started doing Elf on the Shelf and she started doing like all throughout. She had like the elaborate thing. She like did all the setups. She actually like filled up the sink and dyed it green and like made a sign and all this stuff. Like the Grinch was here or something
She's
like
like been
that.
on
Like
Pinterest looking at Elf
she's
on the
been on
Shelf.
Pinterest. Exactly. She's been on Pinterest. She's doing the elf things. But the thing is that her little sister loves it. Her little sister loves it.
That's
That's
awesome.
And
awesome.
so like watching the two, like which, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, Like she's in fifth grade, she's in second grade, like she's almost in middle school, she's almost too cool for school, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, that's been fun. That's been fun to watch. But now like that we're getting down to the crunch time, it's almost Christmas. I feel like Caroline's like, I'm so over this. So now she's just like randomly leaving it in like the appliances and stuff.
Bro,
So good.
imagine if they did Elf on the Shelf at the UGA football facility. Like, you know how they do like all the Instagram videos and like that? What if they did that for like the players? I don't know. That was just, like, I guess, like a drunk thought, but here we are.
Oh man, we need to like drop those hints on the UGA socials.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
That'd be so amazing. That'd be amazing. That's amazing content.
Elf on the Shelf on a tackling dummy, Elf on the Shelf in the nutrition, room, Elf on the Shelf in like the Bones
It's
diner.
it's like riding along on the sled when they're hitting the
No.
Yeah,
tackling sled.
exactly. The sled, quote unquote.
What if Elf on the Shelf had a black jersey on in the equipment room and the equipment Twitter?
Bro,
We're like,
I
dude,
would
we're
have
wearing black jerseys.
I would have another reason to tweet out and be like, "Oh my god, maybe we should wear black jerseys this game."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
So
Elf on
good.
the Shelf in like pads and helmet.
Spike
Just-
Squad,
Oh god,
Savage Pads. I
oh,
love it. There's the
Elf on the Shelf
possibilities are
taking
endless.
recruiting picks,
they are.
Yes,
They are.
exactly.
holding the Natty trophy like it's a gun.
With the
Like,
white helmet.
yeah,
With
white
the
helmet, white jersey.
Where's Hunter? Where's
yeah,
Hunter
yeah,
at?
seriously. So I don't know. We kind of just meandered into football. Should we talk about the playoff? We have actual like 12-team playoff round one games this weekend.
I was about to say,
We
that's
should.
right. That's right. We won the SEC, so we get a bye. Oh,
We get a bye.
it's cute for the teams that have to play that never made the 14 playoff. Oh, Tennessee that get to play in these. Well, they're playing games. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's fun. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. I have to be.
Imagine being a
told.
poverty program that has to do a preview episode of your podcast this week.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously.
And
What-
we're previewing Tennessee at Ohio State.
Do we want to I feel like we should either start with or end with the Friday night game, because that's what I'm going to be most tuned in to learn who our opponent is. You want to do that one
Indiana.
first or last?
Jim, it's your show.
Let's
buddy.
do that
Let's
last.
do it.
Let's do that last. Let's start. Let's go through Saturday first, and then we'll come back to Friday. So the nooner, the big noon kickoff on TNT instead of on Fox. You've got SMU, 11th seeded SMU, heading to 6th seeded Penn State. Man, tickets as low as $40 according to ESPN.
Wild.
And Penn State is an 8.5 favorite.
Just looking at it, I mean, it's noon. It's going to be probably mid 30s because it's a noon, so it's only going to get a little bit warmer. However, Big Ten fans keep talking about, Big Ten weather, Big Ten. It's all a farce to me.
Yeah.
I've never really seen it as anything worth anything to get talked about. However, SMU is going to face the toughest team they play all year. I think it'll be close. I think a lot of these games will be close. The lines, I don't think are as good as they could be. I could see Penn State winning by 10. However, I think that would be the max they win by. SMU showed that they can come back in the ACC championship game. They did it against Clemson. Clemson, not as good as Penn State, but with Drew Aller and the running game of Penn State, I think it's one of those type of games that, as Georgia fans, like a methodical death march known as Kirby Death March. However, I see Penn State winning by at least a touchdown. So I don't think they cover, but I think Penn State wins.
Yeah, that tracks.
Give me Penn State and Happy Valley in December.
Yeah.
Over a team from Texas.
Yeah, I'll agree. We'll have a clean sweep, and we'll go with Penn State. Oh, I don't know. I don't know that I trust James Franklin, but I'm going to trust him. I'm going to trust him in this game. I don't know that I trust him beyond this one, but I'm going to trust him this week.
What is SMU ranked?
Well, they're seeded 11th, ranked.
Okay, he's good.
Yeah,
I think James Franklin has like a very well established, like he's winless against top 5 opponents or something like that.
yeah. Which I guess they're
top 10 opponents.
They're probably ranked 11th, I guess, too, right? To be able to stay in. I think they had to be. So
it's weird how
they're probably 10th, actually, I guess.
versus the rankings. I think according to ESPN, they just have the rankings listed, not necessarily, or sorry, the standings listed, not necessarily the rankings,
Yeah, that's how they have it.
which makes sense. But
Yeah.
again, the whole system is flawed, but we can't fix it. So here we go.
Yeah, I totally agree there. I'm gonna pull up the rankings. I'll find it and I'll tell you. In the interim, you've got the next game also on TNT, which is still weird to me that ESPN has like outsourced some of these games. So you got 12th seeded Clemson at 5th seeded Texas. Tickets as low as $66, according to ESPN.
Crazy.
Texas minus 12, which I'm shocked by like how available all these tickets are. That's kind of wild to me. But anyways, so who do you got? Who you guys got there? Clemson or Texas?
For these TNT games, I just hope that they have the NBA crew of Kenny Smith, Shaq, Charles Barkley, and Ernie Johnson just be like, just doing all the pregame for it, because that would be insane content. With that being said, Clemson at Texas, again, I think this is a lot closer than everybody thinks. A lot of people will see Clemson's record and see what they did in the ACC championship, letting SMU come from behind. They needed a game-ending field goal to win it. A lot of people will see that as, oh, Texas easily at home, walks all over them. However, Dabo is playoff prepared. Dabo, other than Kirby, is the only current head coach with 2 national championships. Dabo, to me, knows the playoffs. And I was explaining this to a Clemson friend of mine recently. I said, I don't care what Clemson's record is. They're one of those teams that when they make the playoffs, especially with Dabo, they just know what to do. They're playoff ready. It's kind of like the Patriots long ago when, Tom Brady didn't have a handful of wide receivers. It was just like, just get them to the playoffs. They got Tom Brady. Get Clemson to the playoffs. They got Dabo. I don't necessarily, and I say that, and I follow it up with a sincere irony of, I don't think Clemson wins. However, I think they keep it really close. I think this comes down to a field goal. I think this comes down to one possession, and it's really close in the end. And I think Texas wins. However, Dabo keeps it closer than everybody thinks. Dabo keeps it closer than everybody wants. And everybody leaves that game still thinking, well, damn, is Texas really that good? Or is Texas just going to walk into the Rose Bowl now against Oregon and get boat raced? So, or sorry, not the Rose Bowl against Oregon, a walk into the Peach Bowl against Arizona State. So I have Texas winning. I have Clemson keeping it close. It is by a field goal, and that's just because Dabo knows the playoffs. That's just my take.
Yeah.
After their kicker missed 2 field goals in the SEC championship.
Now, maybe it's a Clemson field goal missing that wins it, So.
Dude, can we please just press pause? Like, Arizona State and the winner of that game plays in the Peach Bowl. How did the Peach Bowl get shafted?
Yeah, that's
It feels
where
like we get distance not in our favor.
well, we had a lot of confusion on my part because John, like you were right, you kept telling me like that we were going to the Sugar Bowl, and I was like, I don't know, like do we know that? And like we did, but I didn't realize that. Like I thought it would be kind of like the old in the 14 playoff, the higher ranked teams could kind of like pick where they wanted to go. When it was just 2 games. So I had kind of assumed it would still be like that, but it's not. Like if you're Georgia, so it's like what Oregon's 1, so they get the Rose because tradition. And then with us being 2, we get the Sugar because of tradition. Where I mean, I would have much rather had the Peach Bowl, but yeah, it's kind of weird.
And here's what's crazy: if we win the Sugar Bowl, we go to the Orange Bowl. Who would have thought 10 years ago you'd have told a Georgia fan, hey, man, in 2024, Georgia's going to be in the postseason. They're going to play in the Sugar Bowl and then potentially play in the Orange Bowl to play in the national championship. Your Mark Richt fan would have been like, brother, with Mark Richt, we ain't doing any of that.
Yeah. These are the good old days. These are the good old days.
Exactly.
These are the
Like
good old days.
Jeff Danforth.
As Jim's wearing the old hat.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, seriously.
The good old hat.
So, yeah, John, sorry to interrupt. What do you think about Texas Clemson?
Oh, man. You were giving me the hard sell on Dabo, and you had me. You had me for a second, and then you went and picked against him, and I'm like, bro. Give me Texas in that one, man. Yeah. Texas is good. Texas is a good team, man. I think that they just like, there's just some teams that Kirby matches up really well against. And so far, Sarkisian, Heupel, we've beaten, we're 4-0 against, playoff teams. Like,
Yeah.
Which is
what?
crazy.
How?
All right, here's what you guys are forgetting. In any good bracket, you have at least one 12-5 upset. Give me Clemson.
Oh, okay.
The basketball minute returns.
The basketball minute is back. All right, that's all I got. I have no real analysis to say that, other than and go cousin Sammy. Pulling for cousin
Okay.
Sammy.
I about to say led Clemson in tackles in the ACC title game against SMU.
He
So
did. He did.
14, I think, which is insane.
Yeah, he was all over the field.
Well, and it's interesting. I used to coach when he was in middle school. I coached a kid that's at Clemson right now. He's a backup linebacker, plays a lot of special teams. D. Crank, number 22, outstanding kid, great family. At the same time, I mean, he knows I'm all dog. I know he's all tiger,
Yeah.
but Texas by this much, by a small smidge.
Fair enough. Fair
A
enough.
smidge.
I pulled up the rankings to compare. Clemson is ranked 16th, seeded 12th. SMU we're talking about earlier, seeded 11th. They're actually ranked 10th by the playoff. They had to drop to let Arizona State jump them because of the whole conference champion bye thing.
And I like giving Bama one more middle finger. So here we are.
Yeah, I'm all for that. Let's see. The primetime game on Saturday night is on ABC. You got number 9 seeded, 7th ranked and 9 seeded Tennessee at 6th ranked, 8th seeded Ohio State. Tickets as low as $90 according to ESPN. Ohio State.
That is crazy. That one is crazy.
Yep. And Ohio State's favored by 7.5. Tennessee fans are claiming once again that it's going to be a Vol takeover, an orange takeover in the stadium. I don't know. Like they kept saying that. They've said that multiple times in Athens and it didn't happen. We'll see if they can actually pull that off here. But who you guys got?
My take on it is, so Ryan Day has lost to Michigan 4 straight times. One of those times they still made the playoff, and they gave Georgia the best game they could have given that year. It was the best game that season by a nautical mile, and Georgia just ended up being on top because Ruggles can't hit from 50.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. That's why I wear the back-to-back, hoodie right now. At the same time,
nice.
Ohio State is still facing the same adversity. They can't get over the Michigan hump. They can't get over the rival hump. However, Ryan Day has done so many good things at Ohio State. He's won nearly 50 games as a head coach in 4 seasons, which is insane. I mean, you're getting into Kirby levels of greatness here. He's pretty much done everything at Ohio State except win the national championship. And sadly for them, beat Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't see Ohio State having 2 straight home games against top opponents, especially in the playoff, and losing. Now, we've seen Tennessee. They set up the run to use the pass. However, I've said with Tennessee all year, there is no plan B with Tennessee if you get on top of them by 2 or more scores. They do not come back on you. It's like Paul Johnson with Georgia Tech in the triple option. If you can get on top of Paul Johnson and get ahead of them by 2 or more scores, they had no plan B. Tennessee has no plan B. Shut down the run to eliminate the pass, and then shut down the outside passing, especially with your X receiver and your Z receiver, and it's done for. And we've seen it, that's right, 4 straight times under Josh Heupel here in Athens.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Ohio State fans will scream Big Ten weather all day. That's not going to play a factor. What's going to play a factor is if their defense steps up. Ohio State has the defenders to do it. Caleb Downs in the secondary. They have a great front 7. At least a great front 7 that can compete with an SEC team like Tennessee that likes to run between the tackles. Georgia's written the playbook for how to shut Tennessee down. If Ryan Day doesn't at least look at that film and at least use that film and at least take what Kirby's given him, he's just a complete idiot. Ohio State should win this game. It will be close. Again, I think a lot of these opening playoff games are going to be close. This game in Columbus, I think, is going to be particularly close. It's going to be one of the better games on. Again, it's going to be one of the best opening games for the round of 12. However, I do not see Ryan Day losing 2 games in a row at home against ranked opponents. He's done well against ranked opponents, and he's done well against ranked opponents on the road.
Yeah.
So give me Ryan Day, give me at home. I don't care how many fans they put in the shoe. Columbus in the shoe seats what 101,000. Neyland seats 102,000.
Yeah.
Tennessee fans act like if they bring 20,000 people, it changes the entire game. It doesn't change anything for Ohio State. Ohio State has seen more Michigan fans there. They've seen more Michigan State fans there.
Yeah.
Hell, they've probably seen more Indiana fans there this year. Give me Ohio State. Nico gets shut down. Nico can't handle the noise going into the shoe like he did going into the student section in the teeth of the stadium in Athens.
Yeah.
I like Ryan Day in this. I like Ohio State. They somehow find a way. They somehow just do what they got to do. They have too many weapons.
Yeah, I think
On
that
offense, they got too many
Yeah.
weapons. Ohio State 24-20.
Nice.
That's it. I'm done.
You
Sorry.
sold me. You sold me on it. You sold me on it. However, I do think that Tennessee is going to invade this. The ticket prices are indicative of this being I don't know. Ohio State just doesn't seem like that they're up for it, because otherwise I feel like the ticket prices would be more like the UGA versus Tennessee game. So
Mhm.
that's part of the reason why I say, I don't necessarily think that it's going to be a scam, because, they didn't take over ours because we basically were also wanting to come. But
Mhm.
this one feels very much like a Ohio State feels like that they're this ain't it, kind of mode.
Yeah.
I do think that Tennessee's going to invade.
Well, they've been
But
waiting. They've been waiting for a postseason
they've been-
game like this since 1998. That's the thing to think
exactly.
about.
This is their Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good analogy.
The Rose Bowl that they won't get to see against Oregon. I love it.
Right.
Right. This is their Rose Bowl in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah.
Checks notes. I don't know, man. I think that Ohio State is fraudulent. Give me Tennessee.
Man. I this one's tough for me. I don't know. I don't know who's gonna show up. Like which Ohio State is gonna show up. I do think, like, I don't think they're as good as we kind of thought they were. Although they did play Oregon, really tight game there, and I do think Oregon's pretty good.
I think Oregon's fraudulent.
You think Oregon's fraudulent too? I don't know. I don't know how to. This is the other thing too, where like we're in a new world where I don't know what I want. Right? Like, do you want the SEC to do well? To get more SEC teams in, so that someday when you need that benefit of the doubt, the SEC gets that benefit of the doubt, or is it just I hate Tennessee, so therefore I want them to lose? Like, I don't know. We're in a new world, and I don't know how to feel about some of this stuff yet. So I'm gonna hold those feelings for later. But I don't know. I'm gonna take the home team in this one. Kind of lead side with coach's thoughts there. But I do think this is gonna be a close one. I could see this being the best game of the opening round games. So
It's
I'll take Ohio
interesting
State.
that you say that because, and especially with the hate for Tennessee, like I get it. A ton of Georgia fans do not like Ohio State.
Yeah.
But I've spent this whole week wondering why so many Georgia fans are pulling for Tennessee. Like I saw it on Twitter today of people going back and forth, Georgia fans going back and forth between Tennessee and Ohio State. And I'm like, guys, in the words of, Ice-T on Dave Chappelle's Player Haters Ball, I'm a hate on him till he broke and ain't got nothing left. I'm a hate on Tennessee till they broke and ain't got nothing 1998 left. Like, I
amazing.
could care less. Like, Ohio State by damn 90.
Yeah.
Like, give me the Bucks by 90.
Yeah.
That's just emotional.
No, I hear you. That's I
don't get why Georgia fans are pulling for Tennessee.
That's where
Put it aside, dog. Put it aside.
Yeah.
Hate on these people.
Yeah, we're not getting the SEC chance for Tennessee.
No one rooted for Florida in 2006 to beat Ohio State. And if
Right.
you did, you ain't a real dog. I'm just gonna say it.
Coach Trill, Buck Nasty.
Yeah. My man. My man.
All right, so the first game, but the last one we'll talk about. So tomorrow night for us now, if you're listening. If you're listening, maybe it's already happened or it's about to happen. We got number 7 seeded Notre Dame hosting number 10 seeded Indiana. 8 o'clock kickoff. Now this is what I'm talking about. $496 to get in. To get in. That's the get in price.
I saw 500, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean 496. Yeah, 500.
Yeah.
The Indiana State Championship, Notre Dame, Indiana. Notre Dame favored by 7.
I'm going to say battle for the old state of Mike Pence, but that's a podcast for another day.
And this is again like what do I want to see kind of thing, and I'm just going on like
Exactly.
matchups, right? So we've hardly played Notre Dame. We played them 3 times, so we're either looking at our only 4th matchup against Notre Dame or the first ever Georgia Indiana matchup. So that's what we're looking at.
My only take on this is here it is. So over fall break, the weekend of the Georgia Alabama game, my girlfriend and I we traveled up to Fort Wayne, Indiana. She's originally from there, or had a good bit of years of her childhood up there. Her best friend from her childhood lives up there, Carrie. Great family. Carrie and Dan welcomed us, had us stay with them. They are IU alumni.
Okay.
We literally talked about there while we were up there saying, hey, maybe Georgia and Indiana would meet up in the CFP. And the whole time is there as Indiana fans are like, we're 4-0. We'll lose the next week. We beat Michigan State. We'll lose the next. Like they are Indiana football fans or Georgia basketball fans. They're the same people.
Mm-hmm.
However, I love me Indiana people. Being up there with them for 3 to 4 days was one of the greatest things I've done. And I swear to God, matriculating my way through the Rust Belt did something for the soul, did something for the low key Coach Trill and me to understand what the Big Ten goes through.
Mm.
Here is the ultimate sorry, Carter. F those MFs. I censored it for you, Jim, because I know you got a meeting in the morning, so you don't got to do it yourself. So F those MFs. I'm taking, and my boy, Kurt Signetti, Sigs inside. Give me Indiana in an upset of Notre Dame. Now, granted, in real life, this may go like 30 to 4.
Google me.
Give me Sigs inside, baby. I'm going to take Indiana, and I'm going to be with my people, Carrie and Dan out of Fort Wayne. Love you guys. At the same time, Indiana has the offense. Do they have the defense? That's the thing.
That's my question.
Notre Dame has the run defense, but at the same time, they got a good passing offense, and at the same time, though, their passing defense gives it up a lot. So if Indiana can stay on pace, which they did not do in Columbus against Ohio State, which was their biggest game, and they're going to be on the road again, it's going to be tough. I got to go with my people, Carrie and Dan. Love you guys. Sigs inside, Indy by anything at this point.
I like it. What do you got, JP?
I want you to. I'll let you go first on this one.
So I'm kind of the same thing. I'm like I do think Indiana's offense is good. They couldn't keep pace with Ohio State, but I also feel like Notre Dame isn't Ohio State. I don't know what to make of Notre Dame. I mean, like they lost to Northern Illinois. I mean, like come on. They did beat A&M, but that was very early in the season. But I don't know. I'm still gonna go. I'm just gonna go with the home team here. I did a little bit of research. The college football insiders that we look at, like Stats War, they've got a Notre Dame 62% win probability. They've got Notre Dame 27.2 to Indiana 22.89. So a close one though.
Wow.
So in the 20s. So I'll stick with Notre Dame.
Okay. Who beat Notre Dame earlier this season?
Northern Illinois.
They have the 5th ranked defense in the country. Do you know who the number 2 defense in the country is?
Who? No.
Indiana.
Give
me the Hoosiers in this one. That said, I'm gonna hit you with some fun facts. I told you I had some fun facts for the potential,
Yeah.
as the segue into the preview episode.
Let's go.
I personally have, much like Coach Trill, I personally have a family connection to Indiana that we will hopefully be able to get to in the preview episode when we play Indiana. Um, the Hoosiers have not won in South Bend since 1898.
Wow. Wow.
They have never beaten Notre Dame at home since then. I went through and looked, so like that was where the fun facts came from, Jim,
Mm.
was I wanted to see like what the record was here. Um, and it was 5 wins and 23 losses and one tie. Um, Indiana does not have a very good record here, and that sets up very nicely for Mr. Google Me himself. Um, for him to be the hero of Indiana, I feel like that they're very motivated. The prices of this game indicate that they're very motivated. We took over Notre Dame Stadium. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of whatever color red it is that Indiana
Crimson.
has. Is it crimson? Yeah.
Crimson and cream.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, give me Indiana in this one, dude. They lost in if you've lost to Northern Illinois, you deserve to not be in the playoff, but whatever.
You
I agree
see,
with
I
that.
think Jim has a red and black issue from January 2nd of 1981 laying around of when Georgia beat Notre Dame for the Natty, and he just wants a second copy of that. So that's, I think, why a little bit of his nostalgic is coming out. I can
There
see
is a little something about a Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame. Like I'm
exactly like
not gonna
Notre
lie.
Dame, Georgia in the Sugar Bowl would be great,
Yeah.
but Notre Dame, Indiana in the Sugar Bowl, in my opinion, as a classic Sugar Bowl, it's a Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here we are.
Just to paint the historical picture here, because I actually was surprised that they haven't played each other nearly as much, which is another indicator of why the prices are what they are.
Yeah.
Notre Dame and Indiana have not played each other since 1991.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Prior to that, they hadn't played since 1958, which at that point, I guess that they played more regularly because they played basically, every year or every other year
Mhm.
or so, going all the way back to the going all the way back to the 1900s and 1800s. Yeah, 1898. Like it goes like they play every few years going all the way back to 1898. So this is one of those like I don't know what happened. Maybe just Notre Dame decided that they weren't a rival and decided to start playing service academies when the service academies were good. I don't know. Um,
They
but
picked up Purdue and said, "This is our new rivalry in state."
but they haven't played each other since 1991, and they hadn't played each other prior to that since 1958. So I'm sure that there's a lot of state pride that's in on. I mean, can you just imagine not
Oh,
playing like
absolutely.
Georgia Tech or something like that for
Yeah.
you
That's
know
crazy.
10 years?
That is a long time. That is a long time. Yeah, dude. I'm excited for that one. We've been and
Yeah.
Lily and I have been talking about like we're ready for Friday night to sit down and watch and do some scouting.
Mhm.
For sure.
Scout the opponent. And this one does feel like of the other ones, like you're looking at the low get-in prices, like this one with the skyrocketing ticket prices, like this is what you want to see like in a college football game. So
Yeah.
I'm excited about this one. Cool.
Yes.
Cool. There's the picks and the fun facts. JP, what else do you have to round us out?
I have another fun fact. I'm going to tie it back to the Christmas theme of our episode.
Okay.
And it does have to do with the state of Indiana. There is a city in the state of Indiana that celebrates Christmas 365 days a year.
I know what you're talking about, but let's go.
There is
As a
a
geography
city.
teacher, I should know about this.
There is a city in Indiana called Santa Claus, Indiana, and they
Yes, sir.
celebrate Christmas year round.
Mm-hmm.
You probably have a little bit more fun facts other than my just generic like searching and stuff. I do have another fun fact, but I also want to measure that against your Indiana knowledge to see if it's actually correct because I was a little sus. But hit me with the Santa Claus. Like what's your take on Santa Claus, Indiana?
John, in my research, studies, and travels through Indiana, my conclusions of Santa Claus, Indiana, have ended at Google Maps.
Okay. I didn't know if your wife. I didn't know if your wife or your girlfriend had said anything about it. Like,
No.
has she ever been to Santa Claus? I don't know. It sounds like a
I
fun thing.
honestly haven't asked. On the way up, she did a lot of the driving in Indiana. Like I drove us pretty much from Tennessee through Ohio into the state of Indiana. And then on the way back, like, she slept in the car for a little bit of the drive in the morning. So we didn't get to Santa Claus, Indiana at that point. Put it that way.
Got it.
Got it. The other thing that I wanted to measure against your Indiana knowledge, if you were looking to cook something, have you heard of sugar cream pie? Apparently,
Once, yes.
apparently this is a Hoosier like staple around the holidays is sugar cream pie, which to be honest looks really phenomenal.
I just Googled it and it does look good. Also, if you I typed in sugar cream and it autofilled sugar cream pie, Indiana. Is what it said.
Yes. Yeah, it's like an Indiana thing.
Oh my God, it does.
I'm on board. I'm on board with that and a glass of bourbon. Like, sign me up for that on Friday night. It
Yeah.
also
Oh,
is
1000%.
super easy.
Absolutely, 1000%.
All right. If Indiana wins this game, I feel like we need to learn how to make this pie for
sure.
New Year's Eve or something. Heading
Yeah.
into the Sugar Bowl.
100%. It's definitely gonna happen because
Dude.
I'm all about it.
Sugar Bowl, sugar cream pie.
Sugar.
I feel like the omens are leading towards Indiana. I'm just saying.
Look at the sugar cream pie falling out of the sky.
I'm just saying, it sounded phenomenal.
Well, and it's interesting. Their colors are not just red and white; they're crimson and cream. So,
okay,
yeah.
Because I asked my guy, like they both Carrie and Dan, they both went to IU, and I was like, "What's up with the pants at the basketball?" He goes, "No, crimson and cream striped pants." I was like, "Oh,
okay.
my bad." So no, they are very particular about it, but at the same time, like he told me a lot about IU and Bloomington and just the university and the campus. A lot of great traditions, and I will put it this way: the way he explained it, the way he talked about their tailgates, even for football, let alone basketball, was very reminiscent of SEC. Like they get up for basketball like we get up for SEC football. Like he would tell me, like Wednesday night, he said, shoot, we'll skip class, start drinking at 6 or not start 6, 10 a.m. Game times at 6 p.m. And he's like, we just start drinking. And I'm like, wow, it sounds like SEC football, except ours are on Saturdays, so we don't have class, but here we are.
Right. Could be. That would be an interesting matchup. It would also be the matchup of schools who had Tom Crean do not great things to their basketball programs.
Exactly.
So
Schools that hate Tom Crean. And trust me, they hate Tom Crean.
Oh,